Let's talk about the Path Auto module and why it's such an important module in Drupal. This is definitely one of the key modules that you really can't get by without in Drupal 7. If you have a Drupal 7 site without Path Auto, or even Drupal 6 or Drupal 5, then get Path Auto running right away. And what Path Auto does is it writes automatic URLs for your Drupal website. And we're going to look at how it does that, why it does that, what happens when we don't use it. But the first thing we need to understand a little bit about is using URLs for SEO purposes. And the information I have here is from SEO Moz. If you go to www.moz.com, you can find lots of SEO information, as you probably already know. If not, I've summarized some of the information from their website right here. Now, these are some of the requirements we're going to need to fulfill in our URLs on our websites, and Path Auto can help us do that. So first, let's look at the requirements that we need to fulfill, and then we'll look at how we can fulfill them using Path Auto. So the first thing they recommend is use hyphens to separate words if necessary. So this would be, if it's welcome to Drupal, it would be welcome hyphen to hyphen Drupal. Or maybe even more better would be welcome hyphen Drupal. So their next suggestion here is no underscores, no spaces, or other characters to separate words. Then they say limit hyphens when possible. Next, we have no longer than 2048 characters. This is specific for Internet Explorer. If you have a URL that's too long, too many characters, it's not going to work on Internet Explorer. So we should keep that in mind. Of course, as well, if the URL is extremely long anyways, then we're going to have pretty bad luck. It just looks really spammy after a certain length. Lastly, they suggest here avoid the use of parameters, 2 or less at the most. Parameters are going to be like and signs or other weird symbols, and we see these in a lot of sort of spammy links and things like that. So we want to reduce those to the absolute minimum. On SEO Moz, we also have the SEO cheat sheet, which is the anatomy of a URL. And I'll put the link to this in the comments, so if you want to jump over to the comment section of this course, you can click on that link and go straight there. It's a PDF, and the PDF breaks down how a URL works. And what we want from this primarily is the priority. So from an SEO standpoint, the priority first is the domain when the links are being analyzed. The second thing is the subdomain, if there is a subdomain. Then it's going to look at the folder, and lastly the path or the page. So this gives us a hint that not only our path or page is important, but also the folder. So I'm guessing at this point your domain is potentially set. So they have some final advice here from SEO Moz. The URL of a web document should ideally be as descriptive and brief as possible. If, for example, a site structure has several levels of files and navigation, the URL should reflect this with folders and subfolders. So again, we're going to do all of this with Path Auto. We're going to do it nice and clean and nice and easy.